What's up, you guys? My name is Miguel, fellow Xray Tech here, giving you your daily dose of radiation. In today's video, we are covering some of the things I've noticed that kind of seem off, or like some injustice in the field of X-ray mainly, and also just radiology in general. So to give you context, I am a night shift X-ray tech. I've been doing it for about 4 years, and my lady's a nurse, and I have other people in other medical fields. And as far as like my department in general, from all the places I've seen, the X-ray, just in the radiology world, we are at the very bottom. I'm sorry if you don't want to hear that, but like, we are at the bottom of the whole spectrum of the radiology, based off of like the equipment we get, and maybe the pay, maybe how they prioritize the hospital. Essentially, what I've noticed is the big hospital, the head honchos, the managers, and the other people who are not in our field, they see us as what numbers we put up, how much work got done, how many takes it took, the essentially the money side of the field. And like, compared to us versus like CAT scan, us versus like ultrasound, other modalities, how much money they could be made. So essentially, just like my hospital, CAT scan, they have higher priority than we do. So what I've seen is they get a lot more newer equipment and stuff like that because there's more money. But even their field, just from what I've seen, even they don't have it as good as the nurses do. We still, because our equipment is expensive, like it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to get new equipment. So majority of the times, what ends up happening is like, we have Fuji portables from the year 2010. One is like from 2015, and essentially, our upper manager told us that she would like to get new equipment, but the way the hospital sees it is it easier for me to throw a Band-Aid on it and patch it up, or would it be more efficient to get a new one? And every single time they're like, we can fix it for X amount of dollars, or you can get a new one for X $100,000. And every time they're like, well, we're just gonna put a Band-Aid on it, even though it's super old, outdated. And they're like, it still gets the job done, they're still doing it. So there is some injustice in that field now. Does it get the job done? Yes. Is it the most best equipment? Majority not. Every single place I've been to when I was a student, as a tech, every single hospital, unless it's like a brand new one or your trauma one, everyone else, you end up with not new equipment, not good equipment. It's a bunker beater. It's not the best. It all has its quirks. It all comes a little bit dinged, or a little bit like, it's just not good. So you'll deal with that. Even the nurses have their own problems that my lady tells me all the time. Hell, sometimes I bring stuff that's outside of the actual machines. I bring stuff just to help make my job easier on me, which I'll cover in another video. We have that side. Another side is certain hospitals will run their departments just based off of numbers, but not actual logistics of as far as how the workflow. They just see, during the week or whatever, they did X amount of X-rays during the daytime with X amount of techs, and they're like, oh, can we do it with one less tech so we can save money and still output? It can be done. The problem, what's going to happen is certain times you get slammed and it feels overwhelming. Now, depending on who you have running your little ER, certain techs perform better than others. Everyone who works in your department can get the job done, because we all are certified. You got a set amount of training. But when you start stacking everything, and there's the kind of, I call it, just lock down and start just grinding, just start knocking stuff out, You have the people who start complaining, or the people who get overwhelmed and feel they can't get it done. And then you kind of trickle and you start falling behind and you feel overwhelmed. I've been in both situations. Sometimes, certain times of the year, you would rather have more techs. During the summertime, it's more chill, so you could probably run it with maybe less techs. But the point is, they will always try to have less people working because it saves them money, but they don't see the logistic in it. Even our manager, who just recently became the big man, tries to explain to people at the upper management who are not even in the hospital, but just run the department, to understand what we go through, because they just see logistics in the numbers, which are one aspect of it. I could see why, but when you get into the actual, have to take into account terrible equipment, stuff breaking down, and maybe the system's not running good. Like, there's all these other variables. They just see the final outcome and what it costs, and what it costs them to get it, and how much money they're making, and they don't see the other side. Occasionally, these people will get dragged to our department because they get hurt, and they're like, well, since I'm hurt, they come. And we had one person of the upper management from like the CEO level come, and then they started to complain about our department. And our upper management came to them and told them, well, this is what we've been telling you, that our equipment's not good and we cannot perform at an optimal level. And it took that for them to be like, okay, we will throw a little bit of money and kind of patch up our department. But majority of the time, that's what's had to happen, or something major has to happen. Like, it's gotten pretty bad, especially at our hospital, and even the nurses' side. So, what I'm getting at is, no matter where you go, trauma 1, trauma 2, there's always going to be some level of not like the best work. Like, it's gonna be a little bit fucked up. I'm just keep it real with you. Like, there's always something. It's either between your own people, other people, the equipment, or you're fighting upper management that they don't want to pay and stuff like that. Obviously, they will always try to lowball you, always try to fight for more money, even if you're a brand new tech, know nothing. Because I've seen them, what they offered me when I got out of school, and I was like, no. Like it was ridiculously way low. And then I like countered offered, and like I was like, well, it was like a good $4 or $5 difference, and I was like, that's crazy that I could have done the same job, same thing, same pay, but now because I kind of negotiated, I made way more. And I was, it just gets you thinking that we're all just kind of numbers, and we're just kind of playing a role. But anyways, I'm just here to inform you what it's like to be an X-ray tech in this field of radiology, and give you different aspects of it, so you, as a either fellow students in college wanting to know what it's like, or if you're actually in the field of radiology and you want to work in the ER, you're curious what it's like, I'm here to educate you in various aspects that most people don't cover. So, there's many things that you don't learn in school that you learn on the job, or you'll learn by when someone messes up. And as long as you don't put it online and the rad doesn't read it, it can be saved. That is one of my advices. I will give it to anyone. As long as it just doesn't get put online and read, it can be saved. Even if you like quick started it and you throw it into the pile of packs where you're digging through the orders to find it, it can be saved. So I wish y'all only the luck. And I mean, this field is, it can be both beautiful and it can be chaotic at times. Obviously, you're not going to get rich doing this. I mean, maybe if you run your own like X-ray department, like if you are the actual people who like mobile, and you are the man, like the head dog, like that is your, you could maybe make money. But like if you're just a regular tech doing what I'm doing, you're not gonna get like rich. You'll just have like a good life, and that's from what I've seen, both from the veteran techs I've worked with. You just have like a good life, and I feel like if you want to maybe even if you move up to the higher aspects of the field of radiology, you just have like a good life. And I feel like it all kind of depends what you do with the money that you make that could maybe pursue a higher level of wealth and maybe do better like that. So at the current state, if you're curious about me, I am working on a godly amount of overtime because I'm still young, and I'm trying to use the money I make and try to maybe take a higher approach and find ways to make other money and be able to one day just be able to work my 7 on, 7 off, and have whatever aspects. Well, I can't speak about that, and maybe that one will get me out of maybe just working PRN, or just, I mean, the job's not hard, to be honest. It's just there's ways, like if you truly want wealth, the radiology field is just it's a good starting point. It's a good safety net, and then you could probably work from there. But yeah, it's been your Mobile Gal. We'll see you on the next one.